5 things the Buffalo Bills need to fix if we have any chance at the Super Bowl. Yo ho ho, Bills Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Dom Mafia Show. As always, your host, Dan Mitchell. Say, for example, that you're new here. I am an avid member of the Bills Mafia, and I regularly put out videos about the Buffalo Bills and the NFL in general. If that is your cup of tea, I highly recommend subscribing to this channel, and as always, smashing the ever-living out of that like button. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. I took to Twitter about a couple of hours ago, and I asked everybody what are some things that they think need to be improved on going into the 2023 playoffs. Now, don't get me wrong, our team is 13-3, and although that we reached that record, there's still some things that I wouldn't say are massive concerns, but could potentially come back and bite us in the ass. So in this video, I'm going to list out those 5 things, and hopefully our coaching staff will have an answer to these as we go into the first round this coming Sunday. Just before we dive into it, though, I do need to give a massive shout out to today's sponsor, and that just so happens to be BetUS. There's a bunch of sports books out there, but if you were to ask me, this is the go-to. When you're talking about point spreads, money lines, over-unders, BetUS is the place to go. The best thing about it is that they are hooking up my audience. The second you sign up, you're going to get a free $50 to bet with. You can find that link in my description, and they'll also match your initial deposit all the way up to 125%. I'm pretty sure it's like $2,000 at this point. So definitely check it out and gamble along with me. So like I said, this team is 13-3, and nothing grinds my gears more when I see people bitching about the fact that we are 13-3. However, I needed to put my pessimist hat on, and I ended up accumulating a couple of things from the help of my Twitter followers and also from this brand new PFF subscription I just ended up signing up for. Look what I do for you guys. And let's just say I have a list of things that need to be taken care of. Starting off with tackling. That is right. The Buffalo Bills cannot tackle to save their lives. Right now, according to PFF, the Buffalo Bills are 31st in the league for a tackling grade. And as you can see, the screenshot that I am currently putting up on the screen, look at the company that we are at. Literally, we are the only 13-3 team that is in the general neighborhood. Second worst only to the Houston Texans. Now, going into the playoffs, specifically within the AFC, we just so happen to be going up against some pretty speedy offenses and some receivers that can get a lot of yards after the catch. The Miami Dolphins coming up on Sunday, and then more than likely we're going to be playing the Cincinnati Bengals in the divisional round. So, tackling is so damn important. Wrap your guy. Let's not get destroyed by yards after the catch, and I think our defense will be able to absolutely work wonders. Now, a lot of people are always thinking, like, oh, Dan, no, it's the pass rush. Surprisingly enough, we're still top 10 in the league. We're number 6 according to PFF when it comes into overall pass rush. Maybe that stat is skewed since Von Miller has been out, and it was just like heavy loaded at the beginning of the season. But pressure on the quarterback is not the issue. It is tackling. Tackling is hands down something that needs to be addressed. Number 2, our offensive line. Now, when it comes into pass blocking, we are currently 22nd in the league, and then when it comes into run blocking, we just so happen to be 28th in the league. I think that stat is skewed. We'll get to that here in a second. But this offensive line needs to protect Josh Allen. Really, really needs to protect Josh Allen at this point. We don't have the consistency at receiver like we did last year. Gabe Davis simply just did not end up turning out to be the wide receiver 2 that we needed. So Josh Allen, although he has the ability to extend plays, we need this offensive line to do just a little bit more in protecting our guy, because we've been seeing Josh Allen try and go for more of those home run plays. And so it looks like 2018 or 2019 Josh Allen, because of the fact that his trust is not necessarily there within that offensive line. Whether or not that it's personnel, I've seen throwing Bates in that equation, maybe implementing Bodiger a bit faster than a lot of people wanted to in the first place. However, this offensive line's pass rush needs to be addressed. Don't get me wrong, I love the way that Josh Allen can improvise. However, we need a bit more protection. Now, I did mention that we were 28th in run blocking. However, I'm not necessarily going to harp on that often because it's a great transition into our third thing that the Buffalo Bills so desperately need to fix, which is number 3, don't abandon the run. Now, the reason our offensive line is 28th in the league for run blocking is the fact that soon as when we get any sort of semblance of a successful run game, we just stop. I could say that we weren't being productive at all, but literally, when I look at these stats right now, James Cook has 5.7 yards per carry and Devin Singletary has 4.6. That's damn good. That is highly effective for a run game, right? But for some reason, this offense just decides to completely abandon the thing, right? Whether or not it's a close game, whether or not we're blowing them out, whether or not that we're losing, we just completely abandon the entire situation. We have seen success with both of these running backs, and we ended up picking up some personnel on this offensive line that are known for run blocking. However, we completely just abandon it, especially since it seems like that we don't have that wide receiver 2 right now because Gabe Davis just is not that guy this year. We need to be able to implement the run, especially if secondaries are figuring it out. They're doubling, they're tripling Diggs, or Dawson Knox isn't necessarily having a good game. We do not need to abandon the run. We keep it going. 5.6 yards per carry and 4.6 yards per carry is tremendous. Why ignore it? Number 4, you have heard this man's name a few times already in this video, but that just so happens to be Gabe Davis. Listen, that game against the Patriots this past week, yes, he had 3 catches, but on 10 targets. Drops have been an issue for this guy. I love Gabe Davis's rookie season. Last year, he was that clutch dude. I'm just hoping that clutch gene comes back and we see the Gabe Davis that we saw in just about any single highlight that came down to the Buffalo Bills playoff tenure since Josh Allen has been in the building. I want to say that this was him just sort of going through a little bit of a slump, and maybe the playoffs will be able to reignite him, but the Buffalo Bills are in desperate need of a wide receiver too. It was promising seeing John Brown snag that beautiful throw from Josh Allen. I love that Cole Beasley is back there. However, we need to implement these guys a bit faster and start spreading the ball around a bit more. I also love that Dawson Knox is starting to slowly but surely be involved, but we need that set in stone number 2, because as much as I want to see Stephon Diggs go off for 150 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns each and every single game, we got to figure it out because this offense has been struggling. Yes, we beat the Patriots this past week, but if it was not for Nyheim Hines taking 2 to the house on kick returns, our offense only put 21 points on the board. And we cannot have that happen, especially since we're going up against some very, very high-powered offenses. Last but not least, no turnovers. No turnovers. All I'm asking for is complimentary football, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Allen, I love the home run plays. I love the splash plays. Trust me, my adrenaline shoots through the roof. However, don't be afraid to take the check down. I know you hate being captain check down, but I always see so many opportunities where somebody's absolutely wide open. Take what the defense gives you. Let's avoid these interceptions and let's play a nice little chess match each and every single game that we go up to all the way until we get to that Super Bowl. I have full confidence that this can be done. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a little bitch. I do want to see some good throws downfield. However, don't be afraid to take the occasional check down and maybe limit the whole trying to squeeze a laser in between quadruple coverage to Stephon Diggs. Say that I had to put this in terms, let's play carefully aggressive. No fumbles, no dumbass mistakes. If we can play complimentary football, we can tackle. In my opinion, that's the biggest thing that we need to do. So the offensive line can figure some things out, whether or not we need to switch up some personnel. Don't abandon the damn run and spread the ball around or Gabe Davis step the hell up. Then I think the Buffalo Bills are in a very, very good position into marching all the way to Arizona and bringing the Lombardi to Western New York. The Bills Mafia, do me a favor, leave a comment. What are your thoughts? What do you think we need to do? What do we need to fix in order to go through in the playoffs? Thank you to all my Twitter followers for sending me your feedback. I always love hearing that information. Thank you so much for tuning in. And before I let you go, you better always remember, let's go Buffalo.